Good morning. As you can see, you saw the young chicks run out there. I've already let them out of their cage. They're ready for some breakfast. So let's get to it. Get them fed. We'll get the hens out and then the turkeys out, and then I'll be back to talk to you in a minute. As you can see, everybody's out, everybody's doing good, they're having a good time. Run off to the water. They think I might have something, so they're coming. You can see them coming over here. They do that. But anyways, so what we're going to talk to you about this morning is chicks. Where do you get them? What do you do? How do you do it? What do you look for? Well, if you're looking for to get started, something easy. Chickens are very easy animals to take care of. They basically take care of themselves. You just got to give them a little bit of feed, a little bit of water, and they're pretty much happy. Where you get them, you can contact any hatchery online. You can Google search hatcheries, and you will find several of them. Most of them take a mail order. You can just you call and you give them your credit card number, and they ship you the chickens by the postal service. The postmaster then calls you when they are in, and you go pick them up at the post office. The one that I use and I like to use the most is Meyer Hatchery out of Polk, Ohio. They seem to be a very reputable hatchery. Always had good luck with them. Always any kind of problems that I've had, not with chickens. Usually it's something I did with the order. They were more than happy to fix it. They would talk me through it, and so I would order through them. Now, how many do you get? That's the other question. Well, depending on what you're doing. If you're going to try to sell some eggs and you know, shoot for that break-even point for your chickens and your eggs, then you know, you're going to need more. If you're just trying to feed a family of 4, you know, you're probably going to get 10 chickens, and again, it's going to depend on the variety of chickens you get. There are several types. I always get the high production chickens because my chickens have one job. That's to lay eggs. So I look for a good chicken that has a higher number, between 280 eggs a year to 300 eggs a year. The ones that I have go by different names. They are a hybrid chicken. Some people call them red comets. I believe they're called a buff with Volk Hatchery. They call them a buff. They are a sexed chicken, so when they're chicks, they can tell by the color of the chicken what sex they will be, and so it's easier. You just say you want 10 females or you want 1 male. They will ship that at order as you need it and what you'd like to do. Your feed is the other thing. I use Pool and Grains. Pool and Grains comes out of Vermont. They are a mill in northern Vermont, and it's because of the proximity to me that I use that. I get it at my local supplier that's down in Northville. We run down there, pick it up a couple times a week. We pay a little bit more because, you know, there's handling. It's packaged, so it goes to a retailer. The retailer then sells it to me, so there's more markup on it. If you have a local feed mill, chances are that they will grind you up or sell you their mix, whatever that would be, cheaper than I could buy. You know, chicken feed isn't free, and it's, you know, so you gotta watch what you're buying. But most part, it'll be just fine. If you get I don't know, you get five 50-pound bags for 10 chickens, that will last you a long time. A chicken only eats a 1/4 pound of feed per chicken per day, period. Anything else you throw on the ground is a waste. You can feed them twice a day, so you give about a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening. That helps get them in the coop. You could do that. My girls, for the 30 that I just scoop out, 2 scoops in the morning, throw it on the ground. They like to forage it on the ground. I think, in my mind, it's more natural for them. If you're stuck in a coop and that's what you've got, then you want to put it in a bowl because it'll make a mess. It will get wet. It will just get mushy and make a mess on the ground. When the chicks are young, when they start out, they need heat. So a heat lamp, or they have tables that actually are warming tables, and the chicks can get underneath that. They want to be 90 degrees for the first week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And then you can start cutting it back 5 degrees at a time until you get to the relative temperature that it is. Chickens do well in cold. They do not require additional heat. The only thing that they want to be protected from is the wind. So if they're all together, they're in a coop and it's not windy in there, then they'll do fine. Even at 20 below, 25 below. Gets to 25 below, I put supplemental heat in, or I turn on a heat lamp in there, and it just gives them a little bit more. But it's not a common thing. I don't do it all the time, and it's just for that super cold temperatures, just to help them out, because I like to be warm too. Through 10 weeks, you're going to be supplying them with chick grower feed. That way, once they get feathered out, you don't have to do that anymore. They will do fine. The recommendation on the bag say, once they start laying, switch them to hen food. That's up to you. My chickens don't. I've already got the young ones on chick feed. It's still, the feed that I have is still a higher protein than most. It's 22%, so that helps. So you got to know that protein, what the protein is. They want a higher protein when they're young to help them grow. Once they start feathering out, you can let them out and let them do things. In the coop, now when they're young chicks, you want to keep them in a brooder of some sort, which might be just a big tote with a screen on top and a heat lamp on top of that. Works fantastic. They're there, they're safe, almost predator proof. Once they start getting bigger, you're gonna have to get them out of that, put them in a little bigger brooder. And what of that would be, keep them inside of a coop just so that they're safe. That would work also. Once they start feathering out and they get a little bit bigger, the size of mine, I just started letting mine out the other day. Then let them out, wander around. If you want to have free range chickens, then by all means, they will free range. They will automatically go back to the coop at night when it starts getting dusk, because they want to be safe. They know we've got to be safe. It may take a little bit of time to get them to know that. So if you put a little feed in the coop, and you may want to make some noise when you're feeding them, so they know you're here feeding them. I talk to them as I feed them, so they know, they hear my voice, they know there's going to be feed. So I throw a scoop in at night, at dusk. The chickens all go in. Sometimes you have to herd them in a little bit, but that doesn't take a lot. They go in, you close the door, they're happy, they're there for the night, they're safe, they're relatively safe. In the morning, I throw the feed out on the ground, and this is what I do. I throw my feed out on the ground, I open the door, I open the hen house, they come running out. Wintertime here, we don't do that. They stay inside the pen. We're going to do some rearranging this weekend on the pen, get things changed there, but in the pen, they have plenty of room to roam around, and it's nothing more than some 6-foot chicken wire and a couple cheap 2x4s or 2x6s or whatever you got laying around, and you do the best you can to keep your predator safe. String on the top across keeps the hawks from coming down. The hawk comes in and swoops down and has to swoop out. So anything on that top, it can't get in there. An owl, on the other hand, comes in at an angle and can go up at an angle. So you've got to watch that. And usually, if you just set some boards on top or some string across it, put some old CDs hanging up there so there's a little bit of flash, that'll help. It probably won't save it all, but it will help. Now we're talking down the road. 16 weeks is the usual time that chickens start to lay eggs. They want to have a roost, and they want to have a nesting box. Nesting boxes can be milk crates. You can put milk crates on the wall. They want to be off the floor. They like a nice darker place. They like a little privacy. And a little bit of straw, if it's something, just anything on the ground. What I bought was, I bought out roll-out chicken egg boxes. So they're inexpensive. They were like $90 online. You screw it to the walls, 3 boxes. They've got roll-out trays. They're easy to clean. You guys all right? You fell right off the car. Holy cow. Anyways.